Hi guys, this is Awais back with another tutorial of Revit Essential Training. So in this video, I'm going to discuss creating project file. When you start your program and you see this welcome screen, alright, so how do we create a new project file? You can go to the application menu, hover over your cursor and click on the project, which will give you a dialog box. Here you can choose a template. I've got 4 templates here: architectural, structure, mechanical and construction. I'm going to go and cancel these. Well, if I click this new button, it will give me the same dialog box. So it's pretty much the same command, and we got these templates outside. So I can start a template right on welcome screen, and I've got these sample templates outside in my recent files, and I've got these families here. So I'm going to go and click on new and create my architectural template, which is going to be a really basic template. So if you see in the project browser, you got your floor plans, you got ceiling plans, elevations, and you got families, groups, but you don't have any of the sheets, schedule and legends. So this is pretty much a basic template that you can start working with. And here I've got these construction, structural, mechanical templates. I can start a project from these templates just clicking on these. We'll learn how to customize our templates in a later videos, but now I'm just going to show you what are these about. So the most of the work you're going to do is basically with your architectural template, because that's the basic template and that's what we're going to start, and we're going to start learning this. Alright, so there are many settings available in a Revit project, but there's certainly a few things that you might want to change when you start a new project. So now we're going to have a look at those settings. So some of the basic settings are project location and dimension settings. So now we're going to create a new project and configure those settings. Alright, so now I'm going to start a project. We can actually start a basic architectural project, but I prefer using some of the template which gives a more than a basic stuff. So for that, I'm going to go and click on new, and then I'm going to click on browse, and I'm going to my templates and US Imperial. I've got this commercial default template here. I can drop a link in the description for that if you want to download that, and I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to click OK, which is going to regenerate that template and make a project for me. Alright, so now our template is ready. I'm going to go to my project browser. I'm going to show you what else do we have in this template. So as you can see, we got a lot more stuff than in the basic architectural template. So I've got my site plan, roofing, framing, all that stuff. Down here I've got a lot of sheets available here, and I've got schedules available, and there's so many things available in this template. Alright, let's go to our sheets, and I'm going to click on site plan, and here we have the details for our plan, which I'm going to configure in a moment. So let's go and configure these details basically. So I'm going to go and click on my level 1 and go to your manage tab, click on project information, and here you have a lot of details to fill in. So you've got your, if you have an idea what time your project's gonna issue, so I'm just gonna type like 2016 working as a client. I'm gonna type Awais, Mirza, and the street address would be, if you double click on it, and which will give you a dialog box, and you can put your details here. So I'm just gonna leave that as it is, and project name, I'm going to type house plan. Project number, I'm going to give a random number here. Alright, so now we got this, and I've got this identity data here. So organization name, I can type here Awais, Mirza, building name, house, author, Awais, and I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to go back to my architectural, and I'm just going to make a wall here to show you guys what's going on with the plan. And now in the sheets, if you go to your first floor plan, and now you see all the details has been changed. Awais Mirza, house plan, first floor, project number, date, author check, all that stuff available here, and it's been changed automatically. Floor plan. So these are the basic settings you might want to look at early on before you starting your project. There are a few more settings I want to discuss here. If you go to your manage tab and click on location, you can set your location for your project. If you're doing your energy analysis and all that stuff and calculating anything you want. So this is basically an internet mapping service. So you can basically select your address over here and it will try to give you a better information about your project. So you can select whatever you want to do. By default, it's gone to Boston because this program was created in Boston. So that's the default. You can click this search button if you have your location services on in your Windows computer. So you can just click on search, which will detect your location and will add that to your thing. You can select your weather, you can cite all that stuff here. You can manage them. That's not a problem. And now there's a few more settings here. We can make a whole course of the settings if you want to do, but I don't want to go through all of these. These are basically a standard basic settings, just like line style, line weights, line patterns, sun setting, callouts, all that stuff. If you know any other Autodesk program, you might be familiar with all of these, so we don't really have to go all of these. So just go through with this by now, and then if there is any question, ask me in the comments and I'll try to answer that. So next, what we're going to do, we're going to start working on our project. I'm going to start adding levels, adding grids, and refining a layout with the temporary dimensions, and then we will add columns for end of this video. Well, let's get started. Alright, so now we're going to add some levels to our project. I'm in a level 1 plan view right now, but here you can't really do anything with the levels because you're watching the project on the top. So to do that, I'm going to go to my elevation and I'm going to double click on east, and now here we have the levels. So I'm going to click on one of the level and I'm just going to drag that to a little bit about here so I could zoom in and you guys could look at it. Alright, so now as you can see that once I'm dragging that little icon, it affects on all of the levels because of this lock sign. So now my building is going to be 2 levels, and so there's going to be 2 roofs as well. So right now we have footing, top footing, level 1, and the roof. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just click here and I'm just going to drag this down a little bit to make it look better. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a level to my drawing. Alright, so how do we do that? You need to go to your architectural and click on this level command in the data panel. You got your shortcut key for that is double L, so I'm just going to type double L, which gives me that level command. And now we got this level 1, right? So I'm going to add another level about here, and I'm going to snap that to here. So how do you add that? Basically, you take your cursor to the left and it will try to snap that, and then you click and you drag to the right and it will try to snap on the right again. Alright, so now my level command is still on. I'm going to add another level about here. As you can see that it's trying to snap now. When I click here, I'm just going to drag and snap that to the right as well. So right now what we have here, we have our footing, bottom footing, top footing, level 1. We got our low roof and we got our level 2, what I'm going to change the name later, and I've got our high roof. So now let's just zoom in about, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this. If you click here, you can see that it will highlight, and now you can change your name by just clicking here. And now I'm gonna give a name about low roof. It's gonna pop up a message that would you like to rename corresponding views. I'm gonna click on yes, that's right. And then I'm gonna click here dimensions. I can directly change dimension here, or I can change dimension to the properties. It's up to you guys. So I'm gonna give my level 1, my low roof would be 10 feet. So just type 10, you don't have to write that feet symbol because the default dimensions in this project are feet. So I'm going to click enter, and now it's going to change that low roof to 10 feet. So the level 1 would be on 11 feet. Alright, so click here, click that, and then give a value of 11 feet. We got that, and maybe we can just change the names. This is going to be our low roof, and it's giving me an error that because this is the same name we had before. So I'm just gonna change this name to level, maybe level, let's say level 2nd, I'm gonna click yes, that's right, and then I'm gonna change this name to low roof, that's right. So we got that, and now I'm gonna add another level by typing ll command, and I'm just gonna try snapping that about here. I'm just gonna snap that about here as well. So now what we have here, low roof, and then it's going to, I'm gonna click here and change the name to level 3. Well, it's giving me an error again because that's the problem here. So I'm gonna change the name this high roof. I'm gonna click on yes, and then you click to the level T, whatever the name is there. So level 3 is fine now. Alright, so now we have our levels done. That's how you can just change your levels and add levels to your drawing. On the right, you can see now that we got in the project browser, we got level 1, level 3, we got this level S, and in ceilings we got this high roof because Revit is automatically determined that we got the high roof as well, and we got low roof there as well. Alright, so I'm gonna give you some more things here. So if you click on this, any of the dashed line, this is basically representing the level. So you got your dimensions here because it's 10 feet. If you click here, you can change the dimension right there, and it's giving you a dimension of another dashed line, which is 1 foot for our low roof. And well, you can edit those things as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna unlock this, and I'm just gonna move this a little bit down. It's gonna change the value of this. So that's how you can add levels. I'm gonna type Control Z to undo that. Alright, so now let's change some dimension to our top levels. So we got first level of 10 feet, low roof is 11 feet, and now I'm gonna give a value of about 20 feet here, and this value is going to be 21 feet. That's our roof level. Alright, so this is pretty much done now, and to exit the command, as you know that, press twice escape key and you will exit the command. The next thing what we're going to look at is we're going to look at adding grids to our project. So grids are used to change the view once your 3D project is done. So go to your architecture tab and click on this grid command. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start making grids here. So I'm going to start from this point to about this point, and then I will start from this point to about this point. So now as you can see that we're getting a numbers number 2, number 3, right? So I'll make another one about here and just drop it there, and just make another one about from here to about this point. So it depends where you start the points. So it's just gonna delete that. I'm gonna delete this one, and I'm gonna make another one from this point. I'm gonna go back to my architecture, select the grid command, and I'm gonna start from about this point to this point. So now as you can see that I've got number 6. So what I'm going to do, alright, I can zoom in and I can change the number to 5, and the next one when I make it would be number 6. So I've just gone a little bit further, but that's fine. And then there's another one I'm gonna make here. So these grids got the same kind of control as the levels do, so I'm just gonna make a few more about here. Alright, so now I'm gonna press escape, and let's say I wanna change these grids. So I'm just gonna click on this, and I'm going to just drag it a little bit high. As you can see that it applies to all of the grids. So well, one more thing here, if I just change the name of this to A, and that's, I'm gonna delete that one. And now what if I make another grid from this point to this point? As you can see that the name we're getting is A and B, so it automatically detects what kind of grid we are making right now. So make another few more, just to mention that these grids have the same controls as the levels do. So you can just drag any of the grid you want. You can make, well, just one more thing here, that you've got this bubble icon here, right?
It is because of this checkbox. If you click here, that bubble icon will disappear, and click here again and this will appear. So that's how you can make grids. Alright, so now we're going to look at the adding columns to our drawing. So if you go to Architecture tab, here you got the column command. If you click on this arrow button, you've got two kinds of columns available in Revit: column structural and column architectural. So we're going to look at these two columns. Typically an architectural column is used to represent either a column wrap or a rough placement column that will then later be replaced by the structural engineer. A structural column is typically used to actually represent material that's really holding up the building. So let's start with the architectural column and take a look, and then we'll see how that ties in. So I'll go and select this architectural column, and now I've got the column command. Like other commands, that will take me to the modify panel. Here I've got load family, model in place. On the left I've got the properties here, and if I click here, and now I've got different sizes of the columns: 18 by 18, 18 by 24, 25, 24 by 24. So I'm going to select the default 24 by 24, and here you have some more options here: move with grids and room boundary. I'll talk about it in a moment. You can place a column by just clicking anywhere on a drawing, and you can even place a column on the grid. So let's have a look. So we've got our grids done, and we're going to use those grids as the location of our column. You don't really have to place your columns on the grids. You can place them anywhere on your drawing. So what if I place my column at the intersection of that grid? So now I've got that, and I'm going to click on modify command to exit the command. And now I'll select that column, and I'm just going to move that a bit down here. As you can see that column moves with it. So now Revit actually detects that the column will stay with that grid. On the properties panel, if I select that column, and here we have the options here when we made the column that stick with the boundary. So move with the grid. If you check that, that will move that with the grid. And if you uncheck that, that column will not move with the grid anymore. And now I'm gonna select this column and delete that, and that's the basic behavior we're looking for. Right, so now I'm gonna go and select my architectural column command. Before we place all the columns to our walls, what I want to mention here that here we have few more commands. I can change the height and depth of the column. So if I select height, and next to it I've got these levels and all that stuff here. I can make this to go up to the level 3, level S, low roof. You can change that. If you click on unconnected, you can actually define the column height by yourself. So now I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and I'm going to place the column about here. And as you can see that the best feature of this using architectural column is that they will actually sense the presence of the column, and they will merge to the wall. So as you can see that the wall is being merged with the column as well. So it's a pretty good feature for using an architectural column. So I'm going to start putting my columns. I'm just going to take that there, and I'm just going to drop it there. So as you can see that every column is merging into the walls. Right, so now we're going to look at the structural column. So I'm going to go and select my structural column. And what's the difference between architectural column is basically the structural columns, you put them there where it's actually holding the building. On the properties panels, you've got a few more options here. You've got these dimensions for the structural columns, and you've got this structure material. So you can select the material of the column as well, and you've got a few more options here. As you can see that we got the materials there. And one unique feature of structural column is that I'm gonna go and select my structural column again, and here on the multiply option, this is a unique feature for our structural column. So if I select that add column, and I'm gonna select this drawing, as you can see that it's only selecting the architectural columns. I'm just gonna leave that there. And now once I've selected that, now it's gonna ask me the option that tag on placement. So I'll click here. Let's have a look at the unique feature of structural columns. I'm going to go and select my structural column, and in the modified panel we got this add grid and add column. This is kind of unique feature of a structural column. So I'm going to select add columns, and I'm going to select the whole drawing. As you can see that it's only selecting the columns on the drawing, and I'm going to leave that there, and now it's been selected.
And if I'm happy with that, then I can just click on finish, and the structural columns will be applied there. And now I'm going to apply my columns to the intersection of the grids. So click on structural column, select add grids, and select the whole drawing or just the grids. As you can see, it's only selecting the grids, and I'm going to click on finish, and now we got our columns done. I had to go to project browser and get my foundation view up. So I've got all the columns done on an intersection. So these are all the structural columns. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned with the whole course. I'll be making every second day a new video of the course, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.